So while we wait for our tournament match in the Salad Cup today, we're just playing a fun little quick battle. So today we've brought Felix and the Green Knight along with Alberek with his wind spell ability that I have never used before. Our front line is a line of foot squires supported by the Grail Relique, which will be providing an aura of 12 leadership and immune to psychology. We also have the benefits of extremely high tier cavalry, and of course you can't go wrong with Pox Arrow Peasant Archers. Build was decided by the viewers on stream today, so hopefully we'll have a good time. We are up against the Wood Elves too, and they number at 771. So quite a few high elves. Guy thinks you counterpicked, but all he did was counterpick yourself. Yeah, indeed. Let's see here. My knights are on 2. Gotta make sure I get those hotkeys right. And it looks like he's ready. So, getting into the battle. He has Illyrian Reavers on the flanks. And quite a few archers too. There are 2 nobles on chariots. And we'll have to be careful not to take too much damage from them. The nobles should they should get pushed off by Alberek. He will be able to cycle charge them. These spearmen are not too much of a problem, and our knights should very handily win that battle over there. Our archers are taking quite a bit of damage though, so that's something we'll have to worry about. But anyways, I think it's about time we get the battle underway. See, a noble chariot comes in, but the Green Knight will be able to push them back. And our trebuchets are murdering those archers. A lot better than I would have expected for sure. Who's this? Just a Lariel. So not too worried about that. Although, I think we probably want some cavalry support. Alberek is taking a bit of a beating. This cavalry force is also coming in hot. And I don't think we'll have much to actually, to deal with those cavalry units there. I'm too busy with the front line, but our trebuchets have basically done their jobs now. It's just a shame that it looks like we're about to lose our lord. Let's see if he gets away from these Illyrian Reavers though. He pushes through towards the archers, which will help out. And wow, the trebuchets actually do a lot of damage versus the archers. I'm not sure what is doing that exactly, but it's pretty impressive. Now, the Green Knight can come in and start terrifying these spearmen, which means that we'll get a really big collapse on that front line. Alberek will be moving in towards Felix to get some healing, and we can also start shooting those Illyrian Reavers. Our cavalry is stuck in with some archers, which should be breaking in just a second. And they're in a pretty good position to break those the cavalry units in this big fight over here. Just have to make sure that this Phoenix doesn't cause us too many problems. Let's see if we can catch them up with some of our knights to buy time for Alberek to get out of there, because he's taking a lot of damage. Let's see, does Alariel have her magic damage buff? She doesn't, which will help us out. But yes, we are taking some pretty heavy losses, specifically on our lord. The Grail Relique will provide its leadership buff here though, and our knights are very healthy. It's also very surprising to see Bretonians win the frontline fight. Come on, Alberek, don't rout. He's at 0 leadership and he's gone. Oh no, that's pretty bad. So Alberek is gone, and it's really just going to come down to our knights, Felix and the Green Knight. The noble is low, so I do expect him to go down, and with the Green Knight, he will be taking a lot of damage. It's mostly this Phoenix though that worries me. It has magic damage, which will kill the Green Knight very quickly. But thankfully, it lands in amongst some of these foot squires. Without Alberek though, they are getting pretty low, and I think I would have wanted to have the Grail Relique there to actually stop them from routing. But what can you do? We're still doing okay. Our knights are still healthy, and they're able to chase off some of those spearmen there. And we're really just hoping that the Phoenix doesn't catch on that it can definitely kill the Green Knight right now. Our foot squires are back, and there's just some scattered archers here and there. So we can just start running them down with our cavalry, and I think we'll be good. The grill relique too is actually a good thing for Felix, because it means that he won't be routing nearly as easily. But you can see here, the big charge in from the Phoenix does a lot of damage on the Green Knight, but Felix has his buffs. We're going to proc all of them and see if we can take out a L'Ariel. Meanwhile, our knights will be dealing with these archers, and it means that we'll have the infantry advantage over here. So Green Knight sitting at a comfortable, should be 40% damage resistance. We'll be doing really well, even up against the Phoenix, but as it wears off, we'll have to be careful and pull back with him. A L'Ariel, though, is now taking a very heavy beating, and we can actually sick the Green Knight on her. So as long as he sticks onto her, she won't be able to take off, but he actually misses with his charge, and she does escape, which is a bit unfortunate. But we still have a lot of our knights. They're healthy at half HP. And I think with a charge in the back against the Phoenix, they should be able to do quite a bit of damage. A L'Ariel too is on the verge of routing. She does keep it together though with an Earthblood on herself. And nice, a Star of Averlorn will be topping her off. But she lands into the midst of this big fight. My Grill Knights have the surround. And I think some poison arrows there will probably do us some good. So the poison arrows, they will no longer affect my own troops. And they'll be debuffing a L'Ariel and the Phoenix. Let's see, our Green Knight looks like he's his targeting is a little bit off. He needs to be chasing a L'Ariel. And there we go, now he sticks on top of her. And hopefully it means that she won't be able to take off. She's juking a lot, but with the extra poison effect, it means that, never mind, it doesn't mean anything. So she still manages to take off. Perhaps I could have microed my knight a little bit better. But she's really low now, and she can't really take another, fight without risk of death. She does land on my archers, but if a L'Ariel routes to a few archers, and she does, that would be pretty disappointing. Just to some peasants, and she will be finished off by them. My archers do have quite a bit of ammo. And the Phoenix will get bogged down by my knights, so I don't think it will have too much of an easy time taking off, but we've been wrong about that before. So it does get a little bit of distance. But will it escape? My knights are doing really good work with their surrounds, and the Green Knight is able to take out the rest of the High Elf infantry. So right now, things are looking pretty good. A L'Ariel does manage to stabilize, but with another break, I think she should be shattered. And it's just going to come down to the Phoenix now. So to deal with that, we just need to chase off the rest of the infantry, and then it'll mean that it can't really fly away. Prevent draw kiting, and I think we'll be good. 150 winds of magic when? Oh wait, this was an arcane Phoenix. Oh my gosh. I didn't even know. But anyways, yeah, we're just waiting for these guys to get chased off. It looks like the Phoenix is now moving on towards my archers. So we might as well turn and fire towards it. And hopefully these archers leave the battlefield soon. Yeah, mage is underpowered, definitely. It is the new meta where you don't take winds of magic, you don't take casters anymore, apparently. So there we go. The Phoenix does land on my archers. They shatter immediately, as is the way of the archer. And now it's just my knights. They're going to charge in towards the Phoenix. And they should be able to get some pretty good damage in, especially against L'Ariel too. And in the late stage of the battle, their perfect vigor will be having a very huge effect. So while the Phoenix is exhausted, it'll have lower melee defense, melee attack, and so on. My knights will still have just as much armor as they usually do. So there we go. The Green Knight has finally shattered the rest of the High Elf infantry. And now it's all about killing this Phoenix. We have 11 minutes to do so. So you can sit back and relax. Correct. These Bretonnian forces today will be no Wazoks. There we go. Let's see, giddapmule messaging me that he's ready. I'm just gonna get him to host. And hey, there we go. We get a victory with the jankiest build ever. So one thing that really surprised me, and it's mostly because its archers were in box formation, but if you look at these trebuchets, they actually didn't pay for themselves. But they did a lot of damage to those archers, which certainly paid off in the late game. Rail Guardians, an amazing unit, winning the cavalry fight single-handedly, did really well. And same with the Green Knight, geez, like look at these guys. Foot Squires too, paying for themselves up against Spearmen. You know what? I think this is a good build. You should copy it. Don't copy it. But on to the game. We're up against our opponent, giddapmule, the first one of the Salad Cup tournament, which we will be playing today. We've brought a pretty standard Beastmen army with a little bit more conscious choices to try to not die to wolf rats and skirmish builds. So we brought a few more archers than I would usually take. We have Mogre, Shadow Gave, just because he's a normal pick. But I think right here, having two casters will do us good. This guy has Vile Tide, which is very good versus rats if they decide to clump up. It'll rout them almost immediately because it'll take them below half HP. If that isn't a problem, we have Manticore summons, which will break boxes for us. Our infantry front line is just a bunch of cheap infantry because these guys will be able to cut down clan rats, no problem. Back them up. Chaos Spawn are here to help win that fight even faster. And it's all up to this cavalry to defend our archers if we do see rats. So good luck, have fun to giddapmule. And let's see what he has in store for us. His build numbers lower than ours at 1,000. So he'll probably have more elite troops than me. You can see here, he's opted for many Skaven slave slingers, some wolf rats, and a brood horror. Brood horror will take a lot of damage from archers, which is good for us. There are some rat ogres too. And based on the size of the army, I'm expecting to see some skirmishers come into play here. So to deal with that, and yes, there we go, we do see some skirmishers. So all we have to do is pull back our infantry so that they can get supported by the archers. We'll then turn our formation, and this sort of general reworking of the formation is usually a pretty good idea. Just because make sure that we're responding correctly to our opponent's playstyle. We can afford to go a little bit tighter with our formation. These gutter runner slingers though will actually be pretty problematic. We have to really make sure that we're not hasty with our Centaurs though. And we got oh wow, Morgar is actually taking a bit of a beating here. I think we'll have to use a summon to keep him alive. We really don't want him to die to Deathmaster Snickage there. And now that he's been spotted, I think we can probably just use a Manticore summon. And that should take him out. In fact, screw Snickage. We can just use the Manticore summon to deal with that assassin. Or with the caster. So we'll push up slowly towards them. Let's see, we want our archers to keep firing though. And as soon as we spot that, the caster will dive in on him. Although he is still invisible, so instead we're going to go for Snickage. Our archers are trading decently into these guys. Both sides just really aren't doing too much with their ranged firepower. But we can take it nice and easy here. We have shielded infantry who are tanking most of the damage, and our chaos spawn are still healthy. The thing that I actually noticed with the Skaven Kite build is that these skirmishers actually do run out of ammo pretty quickly. So that's what I'm going to be trying to abuse here. We're going to take it nice and slow. And if they run out of ammo, then we're in the clear. Oh man, we're just a little bit too far to get some nice value out of our wolf rats. I mean, to get some nice damage on the wolf rats. So that's a bit of a shame, but it's fine. Ooh, a big volley comes in on my archers, actually. We'll have to pull them back. And this is interesting. This build with the slingers will actually makes a pretty big difference. So, like I said earlier, the big thing that happens if you go for 6 skirmishers is that you will generally start to run out of ammo by the end of the game. But by taking these non-skirmish slingers, it means that there's actually a lot more ammunition on the field than usual, and it's something that we'll have to worry about. But we do catch us some gutter runner slingers, which is very good. And as we slowly progress upwards, I think we'll be able to trade out pretty well. Let's see. I'm also going to group up my archers. They are stealth, and it means that these guys may overextend, and we can probably get some good volleys on them. Turning fire at will off is a pretty good strategy to actually in these skirmish fights, because you'll see that it lets you get huge volleys down like this, and you can trade a lot more effectively. Let's see, Snickich is over there, sort of hanging back, being a bit scary, but he can't really take too much of an easy engagement versus us. These Skaven slave slingers are now approaching, and we'll be able to get a volley up against him too. So right now we're doing, I think we're in a pretty good position, and mostly because we're very used to this sort of skirmish style. We've practiced it before, and what's it? Yeah, we've played the skirmish style before. We also come from a clan of skirmishers, so I'm very thankful for that. But things are still very close. We'll have to see how well these guys do. Some Skaven slave slingers moving a little bit too close to the sun, so they're going to take a huge volley. And in fact, it seems like they were targeted on one of my Centigores, so they will likely get chased off. In fact, we can bring in our Centigores to start to actually chase them off, and then I think that puts us in a good position. There we go. They actually shatter, which is a little bit surprising. And yeah, we're feeling good. I'm really happy that our build has taken that we took 4 archers. They are helping a bunch. So let's see, more skirmishers over there, but they'll be shooting into the shields of my cheap infantry, and that's really no problem at all. Wolf rats are coming in, and these rat ogres too could be a bit of a threat. We're going to sub out our spears to respond to them, and we get them to pull back. Some rat ogres do move on along this way though, which is a little bit scary. But we have our cavalry moving in, and that'll get them to push back too. Let's just hope those spears come back. Ooh, those gutter runners are now hitting me in the back. But a lot of this front line area has been dealt with, so we're actually going to switch up our front line so that we face southwards, while our archers deal with these gutter runners. Our Centigores actually get a little bit ahead of themselves, and they might actually take some pretty big damage, especially from these wolf rats coming in. So we're going to pull them back, and I'm regretting that a little bit. However, there are some grouped up units here, but we screw up our Vile Tide, which is a little bit rough. Let's see, our archers will be unimpeded though. They will be able to fire in on these rat ogres no problem. But I'm interested to see how that fight goes. See, it might not go as well as I want it to. And there we go. We're seeing our Centigores actually do get caught out, which is pretty bad for us. We do rout off the wolf rats, and those hell pit fighters are going down. But I really wanted those Centigores alive. Going to see how well that does. Let's see, possible route from the rat ogres, and if the centaurs run this way towards us, we'll be good, but we'll have to see. They are, let's see, it looks like they're breaking in the opposite direction. So not the best situation for us. We do get a lot of damage on these pit fighters of Hell's Deep, and I don't think there's any healing for them. So that's good at least. But we're definitely feeling that giddapmule is pulling ahead in this situation. Especially with the loss of our cavalry. I'd say that was a pretty big misplay. And Snicketch is still around. We have one Manticore summon left, which is helpful. But will it be enough? If Snicketch goes in for a big dive towards us, what's it? We'll have the summon to kill him off. And we're really just trying to make sure that we can win the final engagement when it happens. Let's see, some more slingers are over here, just Skaven slaves. And we just want to take stock of the ammunition here. Man, I'm really... That was a pretty big shame that we lost all of our centaurs, though. I really thought that they would fight better, but having played this build before, I guess I should have known that they would have taken such a big beating. We do manage to push off some wolf rats. And these guys are running out of ammunition. However, we are too. So we'll have to be careful there. But there we go. The slingers take some damage. There's some gutter runners over here. And it's about keeping our chaos spawn safe. Let's bring them into the center of our formation. And get our archers in towards here so they can shoot those gutter runners. Let's see. The double brood horror too could be a little bit scary. I'm wondering if I should have been using more Vile Tides. You know what? I think I probably should have been using more Vile Tides, but you know what? Here's a good position as any. We'll throw it down there, and if we can rout off these gutter runners, it will help us out. Let's group up the chaos spawn now. And we'll buff up our winds of magic, just because I have those items available. There we go. So some high ammo gutter runners should be running in a second, which is a nice win for us. But our infantry will want to start moving up a little bit to make it so that we're not so packed in here. Can definitely be a little bit of a bad situation. Okay, so the gutter runners are gone. There's a brood horror coming in. We still have a bunch of our strong fighters here. We still have many chaos spawn, but there's enough ammunition where it's not an easy kill here. Also taking a lot of shots, and I do expect some wolf rats to probably come in soon. So we'll bring our chaos spawn into support, bring in our infantry too. It looks like the final fight is getting underway. So big charge in from our opponent. Wolf rats are coming in. And can we mitigate their damage? Our archers are still doing okay. We can group up our troops again, and our chaos spawn are taking some damage. Let's see, these gutter runners too, I want them off of the battlefield. We're going to see if we can get some kills with the Vile Tide, but a nice pull forwards from giddapmule. We'll keep them safe. Let's see. We're seeing a lot of these Skaven forces on the verge of routing. Let's see, the brood horror comes in again. But our archers want to keep shooting at these gutter runners. They can get a whole lot of value if we're not careful. Nice brood horror dives out once again, and Snicketch, you can see he's waiting in the distance, which is a little bit scary. Let's see here, these gutter runners need to be dealt with, and let's get our chaos spawn and make sure that they can take this fight. Oh wow, we actually get one of our chaos spawn summons procced off of Mogre, which is a little bit bad. It's a bit of a waste of a spawn summon, but we do hit these gutter runners for quite a bit, and we might actually be able to get some picks there. So let's begin moving up towards them. We also have these archers, which will hopefully get some damage before they get chased off by wolf rats. And we're really just hoping that we can win it out in this final engagement. We've grouped up very heavily, and we can afford to do that because a lot of the archer pressure is no longer here. The rat ogres take quite a bit of damage, and these ogres of Hell's Deep should be going down actually, which is a small blessing for us. You get some pretty easy damage on top of them. And if they get a rout, that will be very helpful. Ooh, that, what's it? This Eshin Sorcerer is actually picking off my mages. Thankfully, we have two. So, we will be able to use up all of our winds of magic. And, there we go. The rat ogres are dying. Slowly but surely. Let's see. Mogre is still at full HP thanks to his healing. And we have to make sure that our archers stay alive. We only have 2 left. They're getting low. Let's see here. Yeah, they're getting low. So we have to be a bit careful. Okay, so Rat Ogre still at 6 models. A little bit scary. Some gutter runners are moving in now. And what can we shoot? I think we're going to shoot, what's it? These ogres and the rats. Just to make sure that they, what's it? We're gonna be shooting the rats to try to get them to rout. They actually charge in now towards my archers. We get a nice counter charge though. And let's see, we have 23 winds of magic. Alright, let's see, is that enough for a Vile Tide at 7 plus a Manticore? It's a little bit risky. So now that the final fight is getting underway, I think we'll spawn the Manticore first, because we very much want the Terror, but we're getting a huge rout with our troops now. And Snickage is coming in. He's going in towards our Lord, Mogre. And we're going to see if the Manticore can actually take them out. So we get some nice hits. And we do still have Chaos Spawn summons. But the double Brood Horror is going to cause some problems. Let's see, there we go. So Snickage is getting low. And we're really banking on this Manticore winning it out for us. It has Terror. And the rest of the Skaven forces aren't too scary. Double Brood Horror, though, is definitely a problem. And I would say the game is probably done, but we'll stick around just to see if we can pull it back together. Snickage is on the run. These Gutter Runner Slingers have been Terror routed, and the Manticore still has some time left on it. Mogre is still at full HP. And there aren't a whole ton of troops left, but man, this assassin has really been extremely effective in this battle. Sorry, Snickage did get wrecked pretty hard there. And this Brood Horror is getting low. So we may still have a chance here, but as soon as the Manticore goes away, things are going to turn for the worse. Let's just hope that it can kill a Brood Horror before it gets knocked out. Let's see, Brood Horror gets extremely low. It's on the verge of routing, but the Manticore is gone. So all we have left are 5 Chaos Spawn summons. And this could be bad. We wanted to kill Snickage because it means that Mogre will live. But maybe it's not enough. Let's see, it's just 2 Brood Horrors and we have our 2 heroes here. And I think this game pretty heavily came down to the loss of my cavalry. If we kept those Centaurs alive, I think we could have won it here. So let's see, Snickage is now in the fight with Mogre. He's not a chump himself, but we're on the verge of army losses, and unless he gets some very lucky hits here, I believe it will be GG. Let's see, our Bray Shaman is routing. And we hit army losses, so well played to giddapmule. A nice skirmish build, which did pretty well. Let's see, so we'll save that game. And yeah, so what's it? It's a nice kite build because you get a lot of regen on your brood horrors. What's it? And you can really just use up all your ammunition. Beastmen usually can't take that much mobility that can actually engage all these gutter runners. And really to deal with them, you need those Centaurs. I was controlling them well, but going into the late game, I definitely threw them away, which was a big, huge misplay. Just a little bit too aggressive with them. But now we know for next time. So we're up against giddapmule in round 2. We are down 1 game, and we have a fun build to try out. We have Orion with his new buffs. It means that he'll get up to 66% resistance once it gets into the late game, and with his terror, it means that the Beastmen will have a little bit of a hard time actually finishing him off. I'm sort of banking on that, but if giddapmule saves a Manticore summon, it could cause some problems there. Our back line will be defended by some spear units, and our front line will hopefully hold a little bit longer with a unit of dryads. Our archers are at the ready to pull back into these spear lines if need be, and Orion can keep back cavalry. It's a little bit of a strange build. I haven't really tested it out, but it feels like it will put you in at least a decent place. First, the Beastmen will take off fire at will on our Deepwood Scouts. And let's see how it goes. I also forgot to mention, we got some cheap cavalry here in the form of Glade Riders. And with spear support, I think they can keep back many of the Beastmen forces. Our winner, though, is going to be these Lost Sylvan Knights, which will be able to cycle charge quite a bit, as long as we don't clump them up and have them die to magic damage. So good luck, have fun. Both of us are ready. Our opponent has an army of 1,300. So let's see how it goes. We begin, and it doesn't look to be a vanguard force. So we can begin advancing up, and our goal is to secure the middle area. That will let us kite back in whichever direction we need to. And having more space will be better. Immediately, we're seeing quite a few Centaurs off the get-go. Our spears will be able to support. And if they get too close, a big volley will do a lot of damage to them. Just got to be careful though. Yep, there are some vanguards along this side, and some archers are beginning to fire in on our cavalry. We move out in the nick of time. And our archers, I think, you know what, they're going to position here so that the cavalry can't get too much damage on us. And man, is that a large mobile force. So quite a few hound units, quite a few Centaurs, which means that the front line is a lot less scary. There's some Razorgore herd along the front, but we'll be able to keep them back with our spear cavalry. So we're going to move upwards now, and we're going to try to get some good picks on those archers. They should reveal themselves if we move up our cavalry. And we do start seeing some of the infantry of the Beastmen here. There's actually quite a few of them. And ooh, a big charge comes in on my spearmen. They don't brace in time. Take some damage for it. But we trade into the Centaurs pretty well. And now we're going to begin poking away at those archers. So there we go. We can loose a good volley on them. That should actually do quite a bit of damage, bring them down to half HP. And then we can take out the other archer unit. Orion doesn't want to be at fire at will since he's just hitting some spear units right now. And we're going to position this way, moving away from this large mobile Beastmen force. It'll also let us start charging with our knights, which will be good. If the spears turn to defend against the knights, we'll be able to shoot them in the back. So a good position for us to be in. And there we go, we get a nice charge on those Ungor spears. See, the archers have returned, and we can loose a volley in towards them to get them routed. Let's see, some Razorgores are now moving in. Another volley over there will do well, and as we continue to pull to the left side of the map, we should do well, but we actually let our skirmish cavalry get hit pretty hard there. Not a fan about that. And it looks like we might actually be taking a pretty big loss there. So a very good pick from our opponent. We catch some Razor Gore Herd in revenge. But yeah, losing that cavalry is rough. Okay, we do manage to keep one of them alive. The sons of Goros Centigores are coming in now. But they're going to take a lot of archer fire. Now, we want to be very careful that we have spears constantly at the ready to defend us. And we want to be shooting at these Centigores as much as possible. So we're going to turn on fire at will now. We're going to heal up our knights. And I forgot, these Centigores do magic damage. So we got to be real careful there. Let's see, Orion does move into engage against them. And man, I feel bad about taking so much magic damage there. But at the very least, those guys are routing now. A Vile Tide comes in, hits my cavalry pretty hard. And the archers are shooting at my spearmen. Some Razor Gore Herd are moving in on them too. But some archer fire should be able to push them back. Our Dryads want to be in the front line fight. And we're taking some pretty nice skirmish. An actual reversal of roles. The Wood Elves getting skirmished for once. But it makes sense for Beastmen. Now, Ungor's Spearmen are coming in on the left flank. We have Dryads moving in to engage. And our cavalry should do pretty well here. They'll charge in. And then we should be good. Is there a Cygor? Oh man, there is a Cygor summon. It's hitting my knights for quite a bit of damage. And my archers too. So we're going to throw down some healing. We're going to pull these guys back. And this is a summon, right? Yes, it is a summon. Thank goodness. Okay, nice. So we're going to continue pulling back. And we should be able to win out. We should be able to secure that flank at the very least. So our archers are going to move in to contest giddapmule's archers. And there we go. The Sylvan Knights are doing very well. Now, I'm keeping an eye on... I'm trying to figure out what is going to be able to kill Orion here. Let's see. If the Bray Shaman of Wild is just summoning in Cygors, it means that Manticore summons aren't really an issue. Which is a nice plus. But man, our Knights are taking a lot of damage. Our Sylvan Knights are engaged on Razor Gore Herd, which is a nice position for us. But a big cavalry charge comes in. We're going to throw down more healing. And brace for impact. The Centigores actually take quite a bit of damage on the charge. We get a good volley on them. And we're also chasing off some cavalry there. Should help us out. So there we go. Centigores are pushed back. Oh, but we have to be careful not to get picked off by these dogs. We'll throw in some archer fire towards them. And we're really not worried about Orion taking shots at all. Nice, so the dogs are off. Our Dryads can come back in. And Orion can keep eating up that archer fire. He will get low, but getting his regeneration going will definitely be helpful. An AoE on top of those archers should put us in a good position. And if we can deal with this cavalry, that's a lot of the major threats for Orion out of the way. Going to continue healing our archers too, just to make sure that they don't get picked off. And then we can just pull Orion a little bit back. Some more AoEs to do us good. And let's try to take care of those Centigores. I think they're one of the major threats that we have to deal with here. The infantry is also taking a good amount of time to actually get engaged, which helps us, and our knights need to get back here as soon as possible to help us out. Mogr, the Shadow Gave, is moving in. Orion will be happy to take a fight against him. And let's see if we can get those dogs out of the way. In fact, the fewer mobile forces of the Beastmen, the better. Because it means that, what's it? A lot of the mobile forces are the scary parts for Orion. The mobility and the archers. So as long as we can take those out, Orion will be able to win the late game. So nice, our knights get a very strong charge into the back of these infantry and Centigores there. Our archers are running low on ammo. But we managed to pull it out. Oh my gosh, a little bit of a sketchy game. Oh man. But yeah. I think the Sylvan Knights did really well there. And after we dealt with all the cavalry, Orion was in a good place. There wasn't really much there to actually kill him by the end of the game there, aside from like another Cygor summon and like a huge charge from everything and the archers. So I think after those guys were gone, giddapmule recognized that there wasn't much he could have done there. Sure. So for the ace match against giddapmule, we've got a fun little build for us. We've actually opted to go for 3 depth guard pole arms. And I'm taking them because they have proven to be pretty effective versus the infantry of chaos. I haven't tried out this build a whole ton, but I've liked these guys so far. And as long as they don't get shot to death or hit with some crazy spells, I think we should be good. So the reason that I actually take depth guard pole arms here is because they got some pretty massive buffs to their melee attack. So if you take a look here, it's now 42. It used to be 35. So they'll actually be hitting pretty often, and with their heavy 30 AP damage, they are pretty scary, I gotta say. For to protect them against Marauder Horsemen, we've brought handgunners. And that's just going to be their job. They'll be shooting up horsemen for the majority of the fight. Our front line will be zombies, and we'll leave a few in the back to keep those handgunners safe. See, so we'll move these depth guards just a tiny bit back, and we also brought a unit of animated hulks, which I don't think are that good, but the animated hulks, I had an extra 750 gold, and in case we do see a lot of horsemen, I didn't want to take any flyers, especially since we don't have a gunnery wight. So there we go, there's our build. We're going to position nice and forwards to get the aquatics bonus, and we're up against a force of only 1,000. So very small army from Chaos. So good luck, have fun. Let's see how this goes. Currently there's an impossible to kill Moker on this map. Interesting. So yeah, very excited to see how this goes. And these depth guard pole arms, if there's something to kill them, then we're in trouble. But if not, I think we might be in a good place. If we see hell cannons, that would actually be a pretty nice way of dealing with the depth guard. So we'll see how that goes. And we don't see any hell cannons, and instead we see a very nice large front line of chosen chaos warriors and the usual Marauder horsemen to back them up. Luther can immediately start shooting Sigvald, and we want to position in the water. The aquatics bonus is actually pretty relevant here, and we want to be taking advantage of that. Sigvald can get cycle charge, and in fact we can cycle charge the Supreme Sorceress. Let's see, these chosen with halberds too, they'll have to be aware of them. And a summon over there should do good. A burning head comes in, never mind, a pendulum, my bad. Which, you know, it does a bit of damage. It's not too scary. But our major advantage here is that Luther can just cycle charge to his heart's content. The aspiring champions along the sides are a little bit of a problem. We can't use our sirens to really deal with them. Let's see, and we want to stop these chosen. In fact, we'll stop the chosen with the sirens, which is, I think that is the best setup that we can do there. Luther is taking a lot of damage from Sigvald, so we're going to move him away. And as soon as we deal with these horsemen, it should give Luther some free reign, but man, does he get caught up. He takes quite a bit of damage. And we can do another zombie summon over here, which will be good. And we really want to continue that cycle charging. So there we go, the summon goes well, and look at those depth guard. They are holding out extremely well right now. See, Sigvald is fighting the sirens. But yeah, we're doing really well. Some dogs come in, and they will shut down one of my handgun units. But we're doing pretty well otherwise. Let's see, the flanks are breaking now, which means we can actually pull back some depth guard for some defense. Sigvald leaves to defend the sorcerer, but I don't think he'll be able to get there in time. See, so meanwhile, the depth guard now fighting aspiring champions. Those dogs are on the verge of running. And I think we might be good for this game. Sigvald is hitting my depth guard, which hurts a lot. They don't want to be taking damage. But we have a big heal coming in on some very expensive units here. And I think that will have us nice and set. So one of the handgun units is down. But in this type of build, they're not as important as they usually are. Let's see, let's get a breath attack on those halberds. Yeah, the handguns aren't as important because they're really just there to deal with these horsemen. Now that the horsemen are gone, we have free range, especially for our glorious depth guard here, who have no real threats anymore. They will delete elite infantry. You can see these guys continue to hold with no problem at all. So yeah, I think we're good. Our caster is taking quite a bit of damage though, and she'll want to play keep away from Sigvald. As long as Sigvald is chasing her, it means that he's mostly shut down and will be ineffective. As long as this caster lives. Let's see, so there we go. Our caster is making it out safely. And I'm deciding now if I want to heal these depth guard or if I want to heal the caster. We will at least be able to shut down Sigvald though, and we'll be doing that. And the scurvy dogs are running, which helps a lot too. See, I'm still very impressed by these depth guard. They're at basically full HP because nothing has actually been able to kill them. And let's just start cycle charging Sigvald now. There we go, he gets knocked down by Luther, no problem. And our caster will continue to outrun him. Our sirens are holding up well too against these chosen halberds. And we get a GG from our opponent. Nice. Alrighty, so I hope that shows the strengths of the depth guard pole arms. We take a look here. They're at full HP, and they all made back over 1,000 damage value. I think it's a perfect counter to the usual elite infantry spam of the new Warriors of Chaos. And just a few handguns will be able to pressure these Marauder horsemen. Just a few volleys is all they needed to pay for themselves. Animated hulks, not very important here. I wouldn't recommend taking them. Sirens are much better. And yeah, there we go. Sirens, they actually didn't pay for themselves too well. But anyways, I think that was a pretty fun build. So for our build today, we've brought a bunch of deck gunners to start off with to make sure that we don't get skirmished. And a cannon too. Puts us in a comfortable position. But it's not immune to getting skirmished to death, so we will have to be careful. On the flanks, we have handguns. They'll be able to ward off pterodon riders and cavalry, no problem. And once again, we've decided to bring some pole-arm depth guard. These guys will kill Saurus. And it's a job that our handgunners would used to be able to deal with. But at this point, handguns are just a little bit too far gone to deal with Saurus. So instead, we'll take some elite infantry. Sirens too will also do very well with Saurus. And they'll also be able to chase off skirmishers. But our main way of dealing with skirmishers will be our lovely scurvy dogs. Now, if it is a hardcore skirmish build, we will have to be a little bit careful and really focus on keeping the dogs alive. We'll also be pumping in invocations of Nehek onto the deck gunners, because the long-range lizardmen skirmish will be able to sit at the edge of their range, and that can cause problems. But anyways, that's about the build. Let's see. Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on. Just some anti-skirmish, some anti-infantry, and then we're just hoping to see it go as well. The Irongeneral is ready. We are too. So let's get into the game. The enemy troop count is smaller than mine, which is pretty usual when it comes to Vampire Coast. So there we go, the battle begins, and immediately we are seeing Bastillodons with solar engines. So if you look here, their range is 240, while our deck gunners have a range of 245. So with that slight bit of extra range, we will actually be able to outtrade them, which is great. We also called the spell casting correctly. There's a high mage priest with Tempest, which is there to deal with Luther. But this time we haven't brought Luther, and we'll be able to do pretty well there. There's a Stegodon moving up, however, and it will be able to use up the majority of its ammunition against me to kill that cannon, which sort of sucks. But at the very least, these Bastillodons will be able to get dealt with. So our deck gunners get in range, and the Saurus are moving up now. So let's get our depth guard polearms up in front so that they can deal with them. And we'll have our dogs at the ready to deal with those skinks. To make sure that these solar engines don't hit our handguns too hard, we're going to go for a line formation with them. And our depth guard, they really want to get in the fight now. Let's see, so as soon as possible, they'll be charging in. And then we'll be good to go. So Sirens will engage there. Our depth guard will go here. We'll leave some zombies in the back, and we'll start cycle charging those... We'll start cycle charging the skinks. Nice, some skinks are moving on along the side. But we have zombies in reserve to stall them out. Our guns are able to shoot. And we can start shooting these Saurus warriors. We can even shoot them in the back. And that should do pretty well. Nice, so our dogs have dealt with that flank of skinks. And we're putting in a lot of damage on that Slann Mage Priest. A lot of damage, actually. So he's actually about to go down, which is a great start for us. This nice box formation here allows our guns to deal with the Saurus warriors. And if we kill the Slann here, I think we're in a very good position. Ooh, some low morale Saurus are ready to be charged by our dogs. So we'll go ahead and do that. And we'll leave our depth guard in combat here. Let's see, this is also a really nice healing opportunity for the depth guard. And our Sirens will now be moving in to chase off the Slann. Actually, you know what? They need to shut down the Stegodon instead. Our deck gunners are going to also be shooting the Stegodon to make sure that that it stops shooting at us. So there we go. He's able to be... we deal with him. And now we can move our Scurvy Dogs to deal with the Skink Chief. I'm also very happy about the depth guard here. They really won that front line for us, and they're still doing very healthy. I think we did luck out, though, not picking Luther, because it means that a lot of this magic has gone to waste. Ooh, a big banishment, though, comes down on our Sirens, and I think we're going to heal them up. Ooh, no, we just barely don't get there in time, and they do go down. A little bit of a rough situation, but we still have a bunch of our dogs. They'll be able to keep fighting off that Skink Priest, and if this Bastillodon routes, it means that we will be able to chase it up with dogs. But it's now engaged in combat, which is a bit of a problem. But the left flank is secure. The Saurus here have been dealt with. We lost a unit of handguns, but they're just not as important as they used to be, I gotta say. Cool, so our depth guard are going to pull back. These Saurus warriors are doing a lot of damage to our dogs. We'll pull them back. But I think this game is as good as won, thanks to our deck gunners. They've been able to shoot out the skirmishers of the lizardmen here. And without a heavy flanking force, there's just really been nothing to shut them down. I think probably the best case situation here would have been to send the Stegodon to shoot the deck gunners. But that might not have turned out too well either. So, we have our Scurvy Dogs now. And they will be focusing on chasing off all the routing units of the Lizardmen. It's free value. And now that the main engagement is out of the way, there's not too much to worry about. We actually nearly lose our Lord here. They're taking a lot of damage. And a solar engine shot just barely misses them. Another one comes in, clips her. Actually gets in quite a bit of damage. Which, a bit of a misplay from me. Just completely forgetting about my Lord. Looks like she's going to be taken out. So we're going to see if we can get a last summon off, but she gets shot to death. However, we got our full HP deck gunners. We have our cannons, our carronades that are still at full HP. And honestly, I don't think anything can kill these depth guard. But we have to be careful not to throw the game here. And we need to make sure that we're still playing at peak performance, even though we have a pretty good lead. The main difference too is that our scurvy dogs don't have any healing, which is a little bit worrisome. But the Segadon's going is low now. Presumably the Winds of Magic is also starting to drop off, which will put us in a good place. Alright, let's see. They don't have tons of ammunition either, which is very good. So there we go. The skinks are getting chased off. Our deck gunners can move up, and we'll be fine. Let's see. These depth guard polearms are encroaching on the solar engine too now, though, and a lot of the ammunition is going in on the dogs. It's usually a good choice, but given how few infantry troops there are left, I don't think shooting the dogs is the best idea here. Let's see, so there we go, they're doing well, and the cannon's still alive. So we finally hit army losses. And GG! Oh, Perk, thank you for the 3 months. So, let's take a quick look at the build. It is pretty common to see lizardmen go for a sort of skirmish style against Vampire Coast. What they do is they take stuff like Stegodons, they pick off your cannons, and then from there their solar engines can just pick away at your infantry. The difference here though is that instead of going for a cannon heavy build, we went for deck gunners, and they have very high DPS at the cost of range, and they were able to counteract the skirmish. On top of that, you know, you control your dogs well and you'll be set to go. Also, side note, depth guard polearms are the new unit to take if you want to deal with heavy infantry. They paid for themselves and took no damage, which was great. But okay. So for our second game against Irongeneral, we are up 1 game, and we have Wood Elves up against Chaos. We've taken some 6 skirmisher units. So that's some Way Watchers, some Glade Riders to deal with horsemen, and the Way Watchers to deal with any big threats. These sisters will be able, Sisters of Twilight, will be able to pick off any lords or maybe manticores that we see. And we also have a Glade Captain, and we're going to try using them to kill single entities. We're going to leave our Wildwood Rangers in the forest here, and they're going to come in at the end of the game to clean up any Chaos troops. This is it's a very fun strategy, and if our opponent Irongeneral misreads, these guys in the late game will do very well. We also have these great Stag Knights, which will be hiding in the forest for now. And these Stag Knights, ooh, that's a small Chaos army. I'm expecting a lot of knights. Let's stay a little bit closer actually then. Alright, yeah, these guys will be in reserve then. So, the Stag Knights, you know what? We'll put them in the forest here so we can be a little bit more aggressive with them. And yeah, there's our build. Let's see. I feel like my hotkeys are a little bit off. Stag Knights, I want these guys to be on 1. And I want this one to be on 5, and my caster will be on 6. So, we're going to skirmish a lot, beat down those forces, and then come in the late game with the Wildwood Rangers, and hopefully they will be killing all of the Chaos. Let's see, so the Way Watchers will position forwards, our Glade Riders too. Good luck, have fun to our opponent. And let's see how this match goes. I'm expecting a lot of cavalry. Okay, and starting off the game, it looks like a lot of Chaos Infantry. Chaos Knights with lances, some Dragon Ogres. Okay. And yeah, a lot of skirmishers. There's a Chaos Sorcerer of Death, which is a little bit scary. He will likely be able to hit up my Way Watchers quite a bit. Chaos Marauder Great Weapons can get picked away pretty easily by the Glade Riders. So we'll begin by doing that. And we want our Glade Captain to be shooting these Summoners of Rage. Ooh, an early Spirit Leech coming down. Interesting. And okay, there is a Sigvald the Magnificent that we have to deal with. So Summoners of Rage are going to be taking some shots now. And the Sisters are going to be picking off the Chaos Sorcerer. Our Stag Knights will be able to start cycle charging the infantry. We have to be careful with our ammunition. And we should be pretty good now. Let's see, let's start shooting these horsemen too, and pull back our Stag Knights before they take too much magic damage. And the fun thing about the sisters is that we're not too worried if they take a bunch of damage, because they have their healing effect, which we will be using in the late game, because these horsemen won't be able to finish them off. So we just want them to get to 20% HP, and then we should be good. Let's see, another Spirit Leech comes down. No problem. The Stag Knights can continue cycle charging. These Marauders, we can loose another volley into them, and the kiting will just continue. So there we go. The horsemen have taken quite a bit of damage. Our branch rate has gone a little bit ahead of herself. No problem. She can outpace the infantry. And yeah, we're just set up for a very long kite game. Let's shoot these Forsaken. They are unshielded. Good for us. And let's see here. We can charge these Chaos Marauders too, no problem. Let's see, the Sorcerer is getting close again. So we'll use the Sisters to start picking away at them. And a Waywatcher volley actually does a lot of damage to those Marauder horsemen. So we're going to continue pulling back. The Sisters are getting pretty low now, but now we're expecting that, the healing to proc on them. Let's see, they need to take 200 more damage. See, our Waywatchers are making it to safety, and there we go. The Sisters take a little bit of a volley. But I don't think we got the healing proc yet, which is very important. Let's see, they're at 800 HP. So we're going to actually land them into the Mirror Guard, just so that we can get that healing on them. See, so let's keep pulling back. These Forsaken are going to get singled out and charged to death. And we can also start picking off those Dragon Ogres. Let's see, the Sisters just need to take a little bit more damage to get their proc. They're down to 700. And yeah, they just need a little bit more damage. So there we go. I think it has procced. And now we just have to wait a few seconds and they will be healed up to full HP. She will be very good. These Chaos Knights with lances also get a little bit too close and they take a lot of damage, getting brought down to half HP. And our hidden elite infantry is doing really good here. They cut down some of those guys. And I think we are feeling very comfortable now. Sigvald is getting closer, so we'll have to keep running away from him. But our spearmen are holding very well for these pendulums. So now we can see the Sisters are at full HP. Thanks to our very careful usage of taking damage on them. See, the Dragon Ogres are now coming in, but they're low enough where I think we can just move in and kill them. Our branch rate is safe, and we will continue kiting out the Chaos Forces. Dragon Ogres are set up to take another big charge, and our branch rates should probably heal up our cavalry at this point. Sigvald is getting extremely outpaced, and we're not too worried about him anymore. Our cavalry will just run right on past him and charge into the infantry. Meanwhile, these Chaos Lances can be dealt with our kill squad over here. And we'll turn on Fire at Will, just so they can do a little bit more damage. Our Sylvan Knights will want to pull back from these horsemen. So we'll pull them there. Pull our Waywatchers back. And as long as it's just infantry left, I think we're good. The Sisters of Twilight do take a little bit of damage. And you know what? Some Spirit Leeches will probably eventually take them down. But it's gonna take a while, because they're gonna get another healing proc. So let's just pick off the Chaos Sorcerer at this point. Then he won't be much of a problem. Let's see, some Mirror Guard here can take another volley. And we can bring in our Glade Riders to start charging up all of these guys. It's too bad we lost our elite infantry though. But it doesn't really matter too much. There's just no skirmishing left from the Chaos forces here. Let's see, these Forsaken can get killed by our Way Watchers. We'll catch off the Marauder Horsemen. And I'm pretty sure this is game here. There we go. Marauder Horsemen are down. The Sylvan Knights are still doing very well. And yeah, it's just going to be Sigvald. And I don't think Sigvald can do too well here. But we'll have to be careful, just in case Sigvald is just a beast and manages to kill everything. Let's just have Chaos hit army losses instead. So we'll continue to play keep away with him. Let's see, these Forsaken can get taken out. Same with the Dragon Ogres. The Sisters are actually taking a bit of damage here. What's it? These Marauder Horsemen will be able to get some volleys off on her. But I don't think they do enough damage per second to actually kill her. I'm pretty sure she'll get her healing proc again. And then that will likely be game. Let's see, there's a small pocket of chaos here that we can finish off. And, that's interesting. The Sisters, I guess they only have one healing proc. But it doesn't matter. Chaos are very close to army losses now. And it does hit. So that should be GG. Let's see. Sigvald, though, he's still at full leadership, which is honestly pretty insane. But yeah, you know what? We can start shooting him with the Sisters. And even at army losses, he almost stays in the battle. But it's not enough, and we take him out. The GG. Nice. Yeah, we had some very nice pendulums there. And the Sylvan Knights didn't do too much damage. They were at full HP. Way Watchers, amazing. Infantry didn't do too well. And actually, those pendulums did less than I would have expected. The Sisters of Twilight, though, that healing means that they're basically unkillable. It was brutal. And yeah, we got a lot of nice shots with our Way Watchers. I think that's what really did it for us here. As for the game, we're playing Vampire Coast into Willow's Wood Elves. We've brought our standard coast build of deck gunners for skirmish, pole arms to defend in the back, and handguns in case anything gets too close to us. To make sure that we win against a Wood Elf skirmish style, we have a gunnery wight to supply as much ammunition as is needed. And that's basically all we need. So we just have to worry about surviving the rush. To make sure we can do that, we have our polearms, zombie polearms, and just quite a few zombies in general. Our scurvy dogs will be useful in both situations since they do very well versus unarmored targets. And we see that the troop count is 700. So that tells me that we are likely being rushed. And we're going to deploy very far back to give us a little bit of space. So good luck, have fun to our opponent. And let's get ready for this rush. The alternative is that it's just a bunch of skirmishers, but that would not be very scary at all. So there we go. We're going to see how well this new Wood Elf rush does versus us. And I'm sure that our Depth Guard polearms will be very proficient in this situation. Because there's cavalry, we'll position these guys a little bit differently. Did he say he was ready? Ready when we are. Good luck, have fun. Let's do it. Alright, and it looks like we're not getting rushed. Wonderful. This is actually a skirmish build, and we're seeing immediately some Dryads, some cavalry, Glade Riders, and the Lost Sylvan Knights. I'm actually pretty happy about that because of how much money they cost. And our deck gunners have magic damage. So I'd say that's a pretty nice position to be in. These Glade Riders too will definitely be having a rough time. And it's just going to come down to these deck gunners. The archers are shooting on my dogs, so we'll throw in a little bit of micro to save on that damage. And now begins the fireworks. We're going to shoot at the Dryads with the intent of getting them to break as quickly as possible. Our handguns will move in there too, and Noctilus can get a zombie summon down. Our dogs will continue to play around, and Noctilus, you need to get that summon. Let's see, so there we go, we broke one unit of Dryads. Now our dogs can move in, and they'll be able to munch on those Dryads, no problem. Checking the minimap to make sure that we're not getting flanked, and we need to reposition our pole arms. The dogs are in, but we need to make sure that they don't die to cavalry. So we'll pull them back, we'll pull these ones here, get our guns over there, and get a heal down over here. Alright, let's take stock of the situation. The caster is getting overextended, so we're going to pick them off. Where's Noctilus? He's doing okay, thank goodness. Let's see, our gunnery white, we'll buff that guy up, and let's get some magic damage going. These Glade Riders will lose to the dogs, so we're happy to take that fight. And the Sisters of Twilight here are really no issue at all. There we go, so as soon as that caster is routed, we're feeling very safe now. And a pistol summon will push these guys back. There we go, nice, so dogs can chase off the Glade Riders. We really want that caster dead. And there we go, she's out of the battle. Next up are these Sylvan Knights. We're moving in. Our Depth Guard will just be buying time there. And let's see, Noctilus, he's taking a bit of damage, but that's not too much of a problem. Let's throw down a Wraith Storm on top of them. And I think those Sylvan Knights are as good as dead at this point. Let's just make sure that that is the case, though. And they might actually shut down the deck gunners. We'll have to see. Let's see here. Ooh, those Shade Wraiths get killed immediately to that charge, which is definitely very painful. And things are looking a little bit more rough here, actually, which is interesting. Our deck gunners need to deal with these Deepwood Scouts. And yeah, things are looking a little bit rough, I gotta say. Let's see, the dogs can continue chasing those knights, the Sylvan Knights. Our handgunners will pressure these Sisters of Twilight. Noctilus is taking a bit of damage. Alright. See, Sylvan Knights are unarmored, I believe, so that helps. And I think we actually have a situation where we can pick off the Sisters of Twilight here. Their healing proc will go off, but we've turned all of our guns to fire in on them. And that means that they should be dead. There we go. So a big pick for us helps a lot. And it means that Noctilus won't be taking nearly as much damage. Our dogs are doing okay. They'll still have to be careful. And we gotta really push back these Glade Riders. The goal is to keep our deck gunners alive. They are the main way we'll be dealing with all these archers. Noctilus is really low. Let's see, but okay, we pushed off some Glade Riders. We're about to kill the Sylvan Knights. And I think we stabilized. Okay, so that got really scary at one point. But we had some really nice picks on the lords here. Very thankful that we took handguns. And as soon as those knights are out of the battle, I think we're good. Our deck gunners are stabilizing. And we have more than enough ammo for a late game skirmish. There you go, the Sylvan Knights are gone. And I feel like, yeah, that was really close. There we go. So the cavalry's gone. We really need those deck gunners to live. As soon as we get a heal for them, we're going to be throwing it down. We don't want Noctilus to die either. It's a little bit of a rough choice. We do have the scurvy dogs, but I would very much rather have these deck gunners live. There we go. And we're going to throw down a Nahek just to try in desperation to keep them alive. Noctilus will get a little bit of healing too. And we're relying a lot on these deck gunners. There we go. They stabilize. Our deck gunner can now give them ammo now that we know that they're safe. There we go. And our dogs can move in, deal with the rest of the archers. Whew. Oh man, so there we go. Way Watchers are getting shot down. I thought those were Deepwood Scouts. They're actually Way Watchers. Makes it very important that that we actually kill them here. And they're just barely holding, but this charge in from the dogs should do it. These Glade Guard won't be too much of a problem. And there we go, Weight Watchers are out. Let's see, oh man, all these rallying Wood Elf forces are definitely dangerous. Our dogs will engage the Glade Guard. That's a good fight for us. And army losses, wow. So a little bit of a close game, I gotta say. If we hadn't taken those huge picks at the beginning, we definitely would have lost that. And yeah, you can see those Sylvan Knights too. They ate my deck gunners for breakfast. They charged in like it was no problem. And they're actually a lot more of a threat than I would have thought. But we managed to pull through. We sniped out the 2 lords, and we did okay. The Depth Guard pole arms didn't do too well. And yeah, it mostly came down to deck gunners. Cool. I think it was a little bit sloppy for both of us, probably. So for this game, we are playing as the Lizardmen against the Greenskins of Willow. We're up 1 game, having won our Vampire Coast against Wood Elves. And we're going to see if we can beat Greenskins as Lizardmen. I brought a bunch of shooters here. And they'll hopefully be able to keep back any cavalry that tries to catch me. We can slow them down with the poison. And then, yeah, we'll slow them down with the poison. And then we'll throw some javelins at them. Hopefully that does okay. The solar engine too, I suspect should do pretty well. Mostly because, what's it? I'm not sure there's much I can kill it. Maybe Doom Divers would do okay. Yeah, I guess really it's just Doom Divers, in which case they trade about even. They cost about the same. So, not worried about that. If there is cavalry or an Arachnarok Spider, I think the solar engine will do very well. So good luck, have fun to Willow as we get into the game. He has 1,000 troops and he's brought with him quite a few skirmishers. His main army consists of stone trolls, black orcs, and just a couple archers to deal with my monsters. So, we're just going to use our skirmishers then, and we're going to slowly but surely pick apart the black orcs, which will put us in a pretty good position. Our solar engine will have fire at will off. We'll be saving ammunition on it. And we can easily push away these goblin wolf riders. So already a very good start for us. Let's see here. Those are wolf rider archers, so we're actually okay going into a fight with them. These black orcs. You know what? We can actually pull back a little bit. Because what's it? We have skirmishers firing, so we're following the attacking rules. And now we can start getting some shots off into the flanks of the greenskin forces. Our javelins too can go very wide because we have a solid mobility advantage. Let's see here. So the solar engine is going to move up and start shooting at the black orcs, and we have our source to defend. And we can, oh man, brain bursts are coming down, hurting a little bit. But yeah, we can just keep poking in at the sides, pulling back, keeping the archers busy. And then I think we're in a nice place. Mazdamundi can slow down these forces too by cycle charging in and out. And we have a nice surround on the greenskins now. We will turn these guys. And then, ooh, the solar engine can get some nice shots on those archer boys. The Mazdamundi will want to stay away from the stone trolls. And we're going to keep these red cresteds nearby in case a big fight goes down with Mazdamundi. So some goblins are moving in. And there's some fanatics over there too that we'll have to worry about. These archers will get chased off by skinks, which is a very efficient trade for me. And we'll be doing a nice flank denial over here. See, these swords can engage those goblins. Not the best situation because, what's it? Those fanatics, of course. But there we go. We chase off the archers at the very least. And we can start moving our solar engine to help out. Now, I'm hoping that we get a big blob fight over here. Then Mazdamundi will be able to throw down a lot of firepower. Those black orcs too are in a great position to take a shot from the solar engine, and they do. It does a lot of damage, and the Black Orcs are moving in onto Mazdamundi. We want the source to hold out for, onto my solar engine. Mazdamundi will come into support, and the solar engine will likely be able to escape. Battered Black Orcs over here are going to have a rough time. And as long as the solar engine doesn't die, I think we'll be good to go. Those archers are going to need to get dealt with, and we're going to see and get a big AoE on some Black Orcs over there. These red cresteds need to come into support. And now let's get our solar engine in here. Help the fight. Mazdamundi is getting pinned down. And we're going to have to throw down more AoEs to help support him. And hopefully that should be good. Let's see, these stone trolls are on the verge of routing, and the solar engine is helping a lot. Now, these red cresteds, I did say that we needed to use them to defend Mazdamundi, and we did have a bit of a misplay since they are a little bit out of position. But now that they move in, these stone trolls are going to be having a very rough time indeed. We also have skinks all around the map that will be able to chase them off. So let's just move in, deal with these archers, and then hopefully close out this game. We want to chase off those stone trolls for sure. That's about 500 gold value. And Warzag is actually out on his own now, which is good. We'll charge Mazdamundi into him, and he should get taken out. Now, stone trolls are continuing to chase Mazdamundi, and I think we're going to throw down a net just to keep them stalled out as long as possible. We'll also let our solar engine continue shooting them, and these stone trolls might actually come back. I guess I should have controlled my skinks a little bit better there. But we've pulled a pretty solid lead at this point. And I think a lot of it just came down to our build advantage. That really gave us a nice head start, I'd say. The skirmishers with the greenskins didn't help out too much. And they were actually pretty easily countered. Now, my fears have been answered. The stone trolls are back. But we have a very nice balance of power lead. These red cresteds traded well into the Black Orcs. And it's just a Black Orc big boss holding it together. He wavers, he shatters, and we get GG. All right. So, yeah, not too bad. We just had a really nice build, I gotta say. These skinks, they paid for themselves by the end of the game, and they still had ammunition. They were able to keep the goblin archers off, keep these orc archer boys pinned down, and then the Black Orcs, battered by our pew pew, just died to Saurus warriors. It's a rough time in general, I gotta say. We misplayed with our skinks red cresteds a bit, and that you'll have to be careful with that. Mazdamundi did almost die. Alright, so up next, we have a show match against the mighty Aerocrastic. And what is going on with the map? Anyways, we're up against his Empire, and we've brought a fun little Skaven build here to test out against him. It involves a ton of guns. So we got 3 Rattling guns, Warp Fire Throwers, and Poison Wind Globadiers. This is the updated version of my Skaven Weapon Team's build, with a bunch of Wolf Rats too. And we even got Thwot in the mix. Now Thwot is going to be he's going to be causing terror and bouncing around as much as he can. We have our spears in the back here. And if anything decides to run down the middle, they're going to be getting shot up like crazy by these Rattling guns. If he comes along the sides, we have our spears to support, and if he splits up, we have our rats to chase him down. This is an experimental build, but it's served pretty well in quick battle at the very least. But if Aerocrastic has a bunch of cavalry, this could very well end extremely quickly. You can see his army, his troop count is 1,200, which is, it's a pretty good amount. But at least we can expect a lot of infantry, which our Warp Fire Throwers are effective against. Same with the Poison Wind Globadiers. And we'll be using a ton of summons to hold him up. You can see we have 7 here ready to go. So with our army set up, let's give them a good luck, have fun, and see how this goes. Yep, this is a show match while we wait for the other games to catch up. All right. So for Aerocrastic's army, he's opted for a bunch of free company militia, some knights, a great cannon, a witch hunter. Interesting. All right. Now, interesting. All right. I like it. Let's see. This great cannon will likely be shooting at Throt, so we'll have to keep him back. And our wolf rats can sort of freely, they have free range to do as they wish. There are some knights around, but we're not too worried about it. Yes, I did bring 4 white warp fire throwers. You know, it is a war crime, but man, is it effective. Let's see, so we'll be progressing through the jungle here. There are some Knights of the Blazing Sun, and we are the ones that have to advance here. All right. So we'll just move on straight up. Our teams are spread out as much as possible so that the cannons aren't too scary. And we can probably get a jump on these free company militia. So you know what? Let's get right on in there. We'll use these rats to scout out his army, just to make sure that no knights are incoming. And yeah, there aren't any. So we'll move in and then we'll back up before we get shot. And what are these? Just some spearmen that we will be able to deal with. Throt will want to move past those lines. And oh man, I can already tell that is going to be a pain. Marcus Wolfheart causing us some issues to start off with. He's just sniping out our lord, so we're going to have to use our summons as quickly as possible. And we want to take this engage. Now our wolf rats will do a lot of damage to the spears, and we can also get some rat ogre summons going in. These Empire Knights are moving in now too, and they're going to be in. They're going to have a rough time. A big volley is going to come in, and there we go. They start getting melted. They should be taking rattling gun fire, but it looks like we don't have line of sight. It's actually really bad. They get put low though, and it's a little bit sketchy, I gotta say. Things are a little bit sketchy. Let's pull back our wolf rats. Let's deal with those guys. Use our rattling guns to shoot them. There you go. Empire Knights are taking a lot of damage. Warp fire throwers can go do their thing. Poison wind globadiers too, and let's deal with these spearmen along the flanks. Some knights are going over there, so we have to be ready for them. Look at those warp fire throwers. Amazing. Nice. These Empire Knights have now been dealt with. Plague monks are doing well. And we can continue the slow push. There we go. So knights have actually opted to go onto this flank. They can we can start laying down some fire on top of them. And let's see, Warp Fire Thors are doing well versus Sigmar Suns. Empire Knights, man, the hilly terrain here is really hurting. But we're still doing okay. We're still doing okay. We're continuing to pull away from Sigmar Suns. And they are being a huge pain. At least those knights are down. And we'll be able to start killing these gunners. Let's see, the Wolf Rats have charged in onto the Flagellants, doing quite a bit of damage. And we want to chase off these Knights of the Blazing Sun. Let's see, there's another group of Knights again moving in. Very annoying. But right now, it seems like we're doing okay. The hilly terrain is making things a lot harder, though, I must say. So there we go. The Knights are running. These Globadiers are getting their damage off. But we need to actually start breaking through the front lines at this point. I should have rats over there. I'm not sure where they went. But there we go. We've broken off those guys. Now we want to deal with these Flagellants. And, ay, man, a big net comes in. Oh, no. This is bad. How long does it last? Quite a while, but it's about to wear off. We have some of our troops back. And we do manage to make a great escape. So, Throt takes a huge hit in the face. And things could be rough. Let's see, our rattling guns are still healthy. And they want to be shooting at the Empire Knights. Let's go run them down. And, oh man, we've lost Throt. That is huge. But the Empire Knights are getting low. Bot is healing. And our guns are coming back. Even some in the very far distance there. Let's shut down these gunners. Take a look at Thwart. And give him a buff to make sure that he doesn't die. Jeez. Our wolf rats need to continue kiting. But this is looking rough. Oh man, Thwart, you need to get out of there. Our wolf rats are going to continue charging. And let's just try regrouping. Thwart will recover to the safety of the forest here. Let's see if those rattling guns do okay. These rattling guns need to pull back. These wolf rats will be moving in onto the Free Company militia. Thwart is still healthy, but these guys really need to not break. The main benefit that we have here is that a lot of the Empire Knights are gone. So it's going to come down to our wolf rats and how well we can control them. Thwart's still running and doing well. And some cycle charging from rats helps quite a bit. The flagellants are still annoying. But we have warp fire throwers on the flagellants. Thwart will be coming out of the forest soon. And the wolf rats, this is actually a free pick for the wolf rats, so we'll move on in over there. Nice. Our gunners can shoot at the Free Company. These guys can move back, except for the warp fire throwers. You need to shoot some flagellants. There we go. So those flagellants are out. We have some weapon teams coming back in. Wolf rats will go here. And then let's see. Let's take stock. We got warp fire throwers. They're about to break though. Come on, we just gotta kill some Empire Knights. Where are my weapon teams? Ooh, a Globadiers actually take quite a big hit from the cannons that we didn't manage to shut down with Thwart's summon. I'm regretting that greatly now. Let's see. But okay, let's pull Thwart out of this fight because he's about to break. We'll charge in the wolf rats though, and hopefully it keeps him stable. Wolf rats will do a lot of damage to the flagellants, which helps, but Thwart's taking a lot of damage. Ooh man, that cannon is a big pain. Our poison wind globadiers are back though. We can now turn and fire in on these Free Company militia, and there's a break in the lines. Marcus Wolfheart likely has another net though that we'll have to be wary of. And these knights may be able to be broken. We'll have to see. Let's see, these spearmen are moving in now. And yep, a big net comes in. If Thwart manages to keep it together though, I think we'll be fine. But we have 1 second. No, Thwart breaks. Oh no, and a huge rout from our army. Oh, GG to Aerocrastic. A nice sniping build on Thwart actually just manages to get it. I think if we were on a flat map though, we might have actually been able to pull that through. Oh my goodness. Oh man. That was a fun game though. Look at that. We really mulched up those knights with the guns. Oh man. I really should have positioned for those hills better. The weapon teams did okay. Wow, 1,300 damage there though. But the real winners are my good boys. Right here, wolf rats. Oh man, losing my caster though was really bad. If I actually kept my caster alive, I think we would have won that. But GG to Aerocrastic, wow. Great game. Oh my gosh. Oh, I should stop recording. So for our second show match against Aerocrastic, we have a fun build today. We have the Green Knight, a little bit of a risky pick. But because it's risky, it means that people don't always prepare for him. So hopefully that goes well. We brought the usual Pox archers, which will be helping in our fights with the knights. And speaking of our knights, we brought some very elite, shock cavalry here. 78 charge bonus. We'll be bouncing with these guys in and out as much as we can. They'll just be... Yeah, these guys are going to be the ones that win it for us if it's not the Green Knight. For a small measure to counter boxes, we have a trebuchet. And after that, yeah, that's our army. Very simple. Just some front line of peasants and also some beast slayers of Bastogne. Just for the fun of it. They're actually pretty nice for anti-large. for Aerocrastic. He has brought an army of similar size. So something to be a little bit afraid of. Gives us good luck, have fun. Let's see what he has. Wow, a bunch of Chaos Warhounds. And a Kolek Sun Eater. And a Hell Cannon. What's going on? Alright. So we do have to advance. And we want to stay away from that Hell Cannon. Let's see here. It's going towards... Oh, it wasn't going towards Lewin. It was going towards my trebuchets. Interesting. Those Chaos Warriors are something that we will want to be firing at. And let's see. Are there any chosen here? It doesn't appear so. Just Chaos Warriors. So we're just going to bring in our cavalry. Move in as quickly as we can. Hopefully do okay. Kolek is a little bit scary, I must say. And that Hell Cannon will likely shut down my archers. Let's see here. Can we get a nice charge in on Kolek though? Nice, we do. Let's see. No real hits though. Kolek is going to turn around, dealing some damage back to Lewin. It's pretty rough. But our front lines are ready. Our cavalry's at the ready. And we can now move in the Green Knight. Get in some damage. Lewin getting chased by Kolek. Just barely manages to escape there. Let's see. Nice. And okay. Yeah, I think we're doing pretty well here. Our knights can move in and cycle charge. Our trebuchets are getting a lot of damage in on the halberd infantry. And let's start shooting those armored chaos trolls now. Let's see. The Green Knight takes a little bit of damage, but he can run back into the forest to heal up. And nice, we even routed off some Chaos Marauders with Lewin. These Chaos Halberds can get charged, and then we'll bring in our cavalry to support our frontline fight here. Our Damsel will be throwing down heals. And we gotta be careful that these dogs don't cause too many issues. See, the front line too is actually breaking now. We'll have to be a bit careful with our cavalry. Oh wow, and the damsel's actually throwing away her life. So let's bring her back to safety. And let's get this Green Knight into business. And our cavalry's taking a lot of damage. But I think now it's a nice time we can maybe charge in with Lewin to hit Kolek. Yeah, probably a bad idea actually. So we're going to pull out Lewin. And we're going to need another big heal on our knights in just a second. There we go. We'll throw it down, pull them back, and let's see if we can deal with this Chaos Sorcerer Lord. Our knights will continue to pull back. And man, that Hell Cannon is causing some issues. At the very least though, I think the Green Knight will do well versus the Sorcerer Lord. And once he's down, there's not a whole ton for Chaos to actually get magic damage going. Let's see, the Green Knight can now move on to the Hell Cannon while Lewin deals with the Sorcerer Lord. We'll throw down some missile resist too, just in case some shots come in. But there honestly aren't too many, there's not a lot of shooting going on right now from Chaos, so this ability isn't too useful. So we're being a little bit more liberal with our usage there. See, these dogs, we can chase them off. And the Green Knight, man, he's really getting caught up on that infantry. Not the best situation to be in. And I'm sort of feeling like that Hell Cannon is going to get all of its shots off, no problem. Our knights are going to have to stay away from Kolek. They do get a nice charge on the wolves. But yeah, they're going to have to stay nice and safe away from there. Let's get down another heal. And now that Kolek is busy, we can finally have our knights face off against the dogs. Which Aerocrastic does pull back. It keeps them safe. And it brings them into the safety of Kolek. So okay, very interesting game so far. That Sorcerer Lord is being a pain to deal with. And Kolek is running rampant in our lines. Let's see, our peasant archers are back though. And come on, Lewin, just kill the Sorcerer Lord. That's all I ask. Let's see, we get a little bit of a charge, but I'm afraid of Kolek. And we're going to pull back once again. See, some dogs are now moving in onto my archers and actually towards my damsel. We're going to get some knights in to support, but it might be a little bit too little, too late. What's it? The Green Knight is stuck in combat with some Chaos Marauders, and I guess we'll leave him in there. And man, things are looking rough. Our backline is now getting overrun, but at the very least, the Sorcerer Lord is dealt with. Our Damsel is not doing very well at all. And there's still a lot of halberds left, which is really, really worrying me. So we get a bit of a charge on the dogs. We rout off some marauders, and it's all about our cavalry at this point. A lot of these forces are spread out, but that's a very good thing for Aerocrastic. It means that what's it? Yeah, all these forces are spread out, and his dogs are more mobile than my cavalry, which is definitely a pain. At the very least, you know, there's some archers over here shooting. That helps out a bit. But the dogs are proving to be a pretty annoying problem. Kolek, though, is getting a little bit out of position. And I think with Lewin and the Green Knight, we'll probably be able to goon him out. Somewhere, while I wasn't paying attention, my Sorceress got killed by Kolek, which is a really bad play on my part. And we're just gonna have to live with that and see if we can recover. I think the main way to do that would be to snipe out Kolek. So we're gonna dive in hot and see if we can take him out. The Hell Cannon is back up, and it's shooting in on my knights. But here we go. We get some nice charges in. And there are some Chaos Warrior halberds here, but they're at low HP. The Green Knight does cause terror. And we're really just hoping to see if we can take out Kolek. The Hell Cannon gets a huge shot on him. But the Green Knight is in. And I think our cavalry needs to break free at this point. Now, can they beat Kolek? Probably not. He's a beast. But it's the big play that we have to try making to try and come back here, because we are getting more and more behind by the second. Kolek does manage to escape from my hero squad, and the dogs move in and continue to munch on my troops. So I do believe this is GG. Oh man, and another loss to Aerocrastic. Oh, rough times. So wow, he's really showing me his dog play there. Look at that, 1,200 damage. That was brutal. Oh my goodness, those dogs. Yeah, the Hell Cannon too did really well. And the Warriors were just running around all game, but they screened really well there. Oh man, it's a GG. Alright, so for the first game of the finals, we have for us a Skaven mirror matchup. We've brought a Skrulk, 2 assassins, and a crazy, very high ranged unit build. We see Poison Wind Mortars. We'll be using our Jezzails to shoot them to death. And we have some Clan Rats to hold the line where they are needed. Our dogs are deployed and ready to go. And they'll be able to catch out any Skaven that come our way. What's it? We can gang up on any Skaven units. And yeah, I'm pretty excited to see how well these dogs do. What's it? So this build, it mostly revolves around just us shooting the front line to death. And it's sort of like a kitey skirmish style. This could end terribly, but hopefully it doesn't. So good luck, have fun to our opponent, and let's see how this goes. His army is 50%, our army is 50% larger than his. And interesting, he's gone for a rush. I was thinking of rushing myself. And now I'm sort of wishing that I had, what's it? Yeah, I was thinking of rushing myself, but anyways, alright, so immediately some wolf rats are coming in. They're going to be a pain to deal with. But we have an ambush set up on the right side. We're going to get some slinger fire down onto these plague monks. We have our assassins at the ready. So there we go, the dogs, we're going to run into them. And then now we want to pull back these guys. Some dogs are moving in along the left-hand side now, but we've won over here on the right. We'll be able to chase off those guys. And we can get quite a bit of damage in. Alright, let's see. Let's just take stock of the situation. We have a lot of range units. This could end extremely badly. We've caught off some dogs over here. There's a little bit of lag. And I'm trying to figure out how we're gonna win this. Let's see. Our slingers can kite back. But man, those dogs are gonna be annoying. We just have to really focus on getting them dealt with. Alright, let's see. Our assassins can fight this assassin. There we go. Throw down a debuff on him. And then that should help. The dogs are now routing. And I think we have the dog advantage. So that's a good start. We'll be chasing off these guys. Our Skaven slave slingers are gone. We'll use those guys to hold the line as long as possible. For some reason, the balance of power actually likes us here. And yeah, we're just kiting. We're just kiting. These guys will split up. And the plague monks hopefully won't be too much of a problem. And yeah, let's just run. Run for our lives. Let's see, our assassins actually did win the battle here. And we'll be able to chase off that assassin with our dogs. And I'm seeing that we have a nice hold of power along this right side here. Squolk 2 with his summons will prove to be pretty scary. And these slingers are back too, so they can start throwing in on top of the rat ogres. And as soon as those guys are out, I think we're good. We're going to lose a lot of our ranged firepower here. But we're about to get a huge AoE down. There we go. And those rat ogres are as good as dead. These guys are just buying time for us now. And I think that's fine. Let's see, there's a Squolk over there. But here we go. We get to see strength of our dogs. Let's see, these guys are AFK over here. So we'll bring these guys to chase off the plague monks. And yeah, we're just trading flanks at this point. Let's see, there's some ROR rat ogres there to deal with. Oh man, yeah, I'm not sure how this will go. We do have both of our assassins though, which is big. Let's see, those plague monks are out of the fight. These rat ogres are out of the fight. Ooh, and our Jezzails have made it. Hopefully they stealth up. And then they'll be able to get out of there. See, we're continuing to chase off the rat ogres. And these plague monks are done for. Let's see, what are these? Just some clan rats. Our assassins will do well there. And I think our actual hero advantage is very strong right now. So those rat ogres are gone. Now we deal with the plague monks, and yeah, it's just a bunch of chasing off these troops. Our slingers will be buying as much time as possible by running to the edge of the map. And yeah, we have the mobility, which is very good, and 12 Jezzails, which will help a lot too. Just regrouping my army. And let's see if we can kill, what's it? Oh, geez, those are some full HP clan rats, so we'll stay away from them. And let's actually get our dogs in to try and murder them. There are Jezzails. We'll continue regrouping. And I think our dogs, if we charge in and surround these clan rats, I think that will put us in a good position. We're going to hold our army there so that they can replenish some of their vigor. And with those clan rats down, I'll be feeling better. Let's see, we only have so many slingers left though. And here we go. These clan rats are facing in the wrong direction, so our dogs can charge in. And there we go, they will be breaking off. So nice. We get that mobility advantage, we take advantage. We use it well. And I'm feeling better now. We lost so many slingers though. But what's really here? Just some plague monks? We have a bunch of summons too, which will help out. And it'll be a Squolk on Squolk battle. Now, they'll probably cancel each other out. And I think We really just have to make sure that we don't group up too hard. Since if you clump up Squulk with his massive AoE, we'll do a lot of damage. You can get a chieftain if Tretch dies. Yeah. Why am I looking at chat? We have a game to play. So, let's see. Our Jezzails will be able to get some surprise shots off. Presumably our opponent doesn't know that the Jezzails still live. And you know what? They could probably start picking away at Squulk too. That would give us a pretty nice advantage. These assassins can the assassins can move up, and if they get a pick on Squulk, that would be big. Liber Bubonicus, pass on him too, will do well. And okay, looks like our opponent is taking their time to advance. So we shall too now. Let's see these Jezzails. They turn on fire at will, and they want to be shooting at those rat ogres. Our dogs are at the ready. Delay as much as possible, and there aren't actually, I don't think there's any range units here coming in from my opponent's Skaven side. So we can really just use that to our advantage and play very, very wide. See, we'll summon a unit of clan rats and run them in. And so far, yeah, our Jezzails are just gonna do very well. Let's get these clan rats in and fighting. We'll send them towards the plague monks, and we want to start getting some damage in on Squulk. So that should be a Liber Bubonicus trade, where we both send it in on each other. And ooh, I'm actually wondering maybe we can get a free pick on Squulk here. So we send in our assassins. Let's move in our dogs to create some pressure, and our slingers also want to start shooting. There we go. So our assassins do get in. We'll throw down a debuff on Squulk, and if we get a kill on him, that would swing things wildly in our favor. So he takes a lot of damage off the get-go, but does manage to escape. These rat ogres now are moving in on our right flank, so we'll bring Squulk over to support. And our dogs, now that they've baited out those infantry units, they can swing over, win our right flank, and these guys won't really be able to support. So just in time for the rat ogres to die, I think we have a pretty good setup here. So nice, the rat ogres are gone. Our rats get in there, and if we can rout off those plague monks too, that would be amazing. These wolf rats do run in though, and they charge into my rats. They're going to probably get a rout. But we have a bunch of summons here, and I think that should do good. Really the main thing that's gonna win it for us though are these assassins who are doing wonders for Squulk. See, speaking of, we'll take our Squulk, we'll bring him in for a big AoE, and then I think we'll be good to go. Let's see, these wolf rats have broken, which sort of sucks. But okay, we have a nice engagement here now. Squulk is moving in. We have some big AoEs that we can throw down, but he needs to get a little bit closer. Our guns are still performing well though. These plague monks do break through, and can we get a big AoE? We really want to be catching Squulk here. Ooh, and we do. So he gets in range. We throw down our AoE, and we're going to try and finish him off. Our slingers can run back and simply buy time. And as soon as Squulk dies, I think we're in a good position. These rat ogres can get chased off too. And oh man, I think we might have pulled through with this mirror. See Squulk, he gets caught by his mirror counterpart. The rat ogres are dealt with. And it's just a few plague monks that we can run away from. Our dogs are coming back, and they'll be able to do really well. But Squulk he's actually running and making some good progress there. Our assassin is getting stopped by some rat ogres too. But a Liber on Squulk actually triggers army losses, and we win the first game. Oh my gosh. Okay, so a little bit sketchy there. I think our play with the rats might have worked out a bit better. Yeah, we got more value off of our 3 rats than they did off of 4. And then from there, we were able to carry it out. Our slingers weren't very good. But also our Skulk and 2 assassins were amazing for actually winning out the hero duel. We picked off an assassin early, and afterwards, it was just Skulk. Rat Ogres got shot up, and that's all we needed to win. Okay, but to get into this build, well, first of all, we're up in our second game in the finals. And we brought basically the most standard Lizardmen build you can imagine. A nice small box formation against the Bretonnians. We'll be moving through the forest to make sure that the trebuchets don't do too much damage. And then we have some Pterodon riders to deal with skirmishers. Let's see. Yep, so we're allowed to advance through the forest to engage, so it's all perfectly legal, but we have to actually exit it if the fighting gets hot. The Stegodons do not want fire at will on, and in fact, we'll position a little bit out of the forest. It'll give us some options, but the Stegodons, they actually, you know what, their range with the solar cannons, it'll get stopped by the forest and it'll make knights have an easier time to charge into me. So I sort of like being in the open a lot more. Our Pterodon riders are going to be skirmishing out center, and they want to get on top of the trebuchets. They'll also be bothering archers, dropping rocks, and then from there it's just a big fight against cavalry, which we are very well equipped to deal with. Our opponent has an army size of 1,000, and he's brought some trebuchets, some knights, some peasant archers, and King Lewin along with a paladin. So they'll be able to keep my Pterodon riders far away. And yeah, we're just going to be advancing up forwards now, trying to shut down the Trebs. There are 3 of them, so our need to engage is very high right now. We're just going to be advancing as quickly as possible. And then we should do fine. Mazdamundi will also put in a lot of hurt on those peasant bowmen. So the trebuchet shots come in. We're going to dodge slightly, but not focus too much on that, since trebuchets, they do, what's it? Trebuchets have a pretty wide area that they can hit, and it's not always possible to dodge them. So nice, our Pterodons are doing well. They're distracting Lewin and the archers, and it'll give us time to get this nice engage. Some arrow shots move in, clipping my Pterodons for a bit of damage, but they hold out well. Let's see, so we're going to continue moving up, and as soon as these solar engines get in range, we'll be able to start firing in on the peasant bowmen. The bowmen here are really the biggest threat. And there we go. We get one for about 1/3 of its HP. A big shot, and the trebuchets have gone very little damage on us. So I'd say that's a pretty good start. And now we can start worrying about, the Trebs. Mazdamundi is going to go ahead and try to shut down those archers. We have Lewin on the run. These archers are going to get dived in on by these Pterodon riders, which is good. And we can throw down some ward save over there to help us out. Those archers can eat a banishment. And our Saurus are trying to get in onto the fight as soon as possible, but knights are coming in now, which are a bit of a threat. So we're going to pull in our Saurus to defend against them, and we're going to use our solar engines to shoot these knights to death. I'm seeing this peasant archer is routing now, so we can chase it off with Pterodon riders. And without any knights to support, we'll also be in a very good situation. We're going to throw down a little bit of a heal on our Saurus warriors there. That should pick them up a tiny bit. And let's just continue shooting at these Bretonnian knights. There we go. Our solar engines can now move up now that the knights have been pushed back. And they want to get fighting. They want to start fighting these peasants. All right, there we go. Lewin actually lands for a quick second and then picks back up. And I'm seeing another archer unit that we can snipe out with the solar engines. There we go. They take quite a bit of damage. And whoa, Lewin is actually going ham. Being very aggressive. And he might be punished for that. We'll have to see. If he takes off here, I think he'll be fine. And he actually goes for Mazdamundi. So we'll be throwing in our spears to support and using our solar engines to try and shoot him to death. Meanwhile, the Pterodon riders will be moving in to deal with the peasant archers. And let's see if Mazdamundi can keep it together. We'll give him a little bit of leadership. And we want him to get that missile resist too. Lewin is caught up in a pretty tough situation though, which is good for us. And there we go with the missile resist. I think we'll be just fine. Lewin is now routing, and we've successfully kept the knights away from us. Some drop rocks are able to rout off the archers, which puts pressure off of Mazdamundi, and we get a nice clean win out of that game. So Lewin was very aggressive there, but with the double solar engine, there wasn't much he could do. We had a bunch of Saurus there. They were protecting the solar engines too. And the trebuchets, they got to fire all game, but they didn't do too much. The questing knights too couldn't really get a solid engage. And he needed more archers to really be focusing down that blob. So nice, GG. So, for what may be the final game, Wood Elves against High Elves, we've decided to go for a rush army. We have, we're going to get ready for a flank overload with some Glade Riders maneuvering in the back. We have two captains on stags. These guys are great because they bring anti-large and armor piercing. Okay, so it's not like insane late for you, except for in Dubai, which is really late, apparently at 2 a.m. But anyways, the game. So we brought a bunch of Eternal Guard. These guys will just run into spears. And if my opponent doesn't bring enough infantry, they will do really well. He does number at 1,085, which feels pretty high for High Elves. And we'll see if he's able to deal with this flank overload type build. So most of our forces are going to be moving in from here. And then that will buy enough space for our Glade Rider Spears to get a lot of damage in. Drychar will vanguard forward so that we can get the fighting going on faster. Yeah, and then hopefully we get a nice rush. It'll also be really nice because we have Dryad Summons and Pendulum. So we get into the game, and immediately we're seeing a million archers. There are some Dragon Princes, and yeah, that's about it. We have Techless, but Drycha can add a 15-second cooldown to what's it? She can add a 15-second cooldown to spell casting with her whenever she casts a spell, and that will shut down any nets that come down from Techless. These archers will be a little bit annoying to deal with, but there's actually not a lot of pressure on our troops, so we can really take our time to go for a crazy flank. It's just these Dragon Princes that would be able to pressure my infantry here, but we have our Glade Riders that would be able to countercharge. So I think we can just settle for playing extremely patient here. We have a huge map, gives us a lot of time to get a full surround going. And then we're just going to collapse in along the back. The High Elf forces now begin to advance, but we can pull back. And with this very strong flank overload, I think we'll be in a good place. There's no artillery to pressure us here. And we can even get the Glade Captains to start shooting away at those Lothern Sea Guard. So now that we have this flank secured, we can begin moving in with our infantry. And And yeah, we have the Dragon Princess distracted. So let's start moving in. Let's get our Glade Captains here. We don't want these guys to take too many shots yet. And hopefully our Eternal Guard will be able to tank most of it. We're dodging a lot of the archer shots, which will help us out. And we really want Drycha to get in there as quickly as possible. The nice Eternal Guard are now tanking a lot of the archer fire. Let's see, some spears are moving into support. And Drycha, let's see, she's taking some damage, but it's not too bad. And, ooh, I think we might have canceled the net. No, the net still goes off. But now begins the big engagement. We want to be dealing with these archers. And these Dragon Princes are going to be in for a rough time. Let's see here. We'll be able to push through the High Elf lines here. Some Dragon Princes are causing some problems. And we need Drycha to support. Oh, not against Techless. Oh no, so a bit of a misplay from me there. But I think we have a win against the Dragon Princes. We can also shut down these archers, like so. And the Zotes can deal with those guys. Okay, nice. So, the High Elf backline is intensely compromised now. The Lothran Seaguard are going down. And these Dragon Princes are taking quite a bit of damage. Our spears are fighting Dragon Princes too. And it doesn't really matter that we're losing our backline. At least it doesn't matter too much. Let's see. Ooh, a nice pendulum could probably go here. So we'll send that down. Hopefully it hits some spears. And it misses the spears, but we hit the Lothran Seaguard, which helps quite a bit. So we definitely have the cavalry advantage now. And let's see. We just want to stay away from those Dragon Princes while we finish up all this infantry. So there we go. That goes pretty well. These Dragon Princes we can chase off the map, which will help. And we want our Stag Knights to pull in this direction. Some Lothran Seaguard are coming back. We'll be able to send our infantry towards them. And this is actually a really good fight against the Dragon Princes. So we'll charge in. We'll bring in the Glade Captains too. And use our Zotes to throw down another big heal to ensure that we win that fight. Okay. Let's see. Drycha. And continue shutting down those guys. And oops, we actually forgot to deal with the Dragon Princes. Which is a little bit rough. But I think so far we're set up pretty nicely. Drycha actually, I think she's constantly making it so that Techless can't cast spells. And that surely has to be having a good effect on us. Let's see, these Dragon Princes are surrounded in some pretty bad fights. But I'm not sure if I really like that fight. I'm not entirely sure. Let's see, our cavalry does charge some guys in the back. Man, I really want these Dragon Princes to die. But they're just giving me a really hard time. Techless 2 throws on another net. And man, do we have any elite cavalry left? Not really. We just have the Zotes, who are taking a lot of archer fire now. But they can give themselves some armor, which will help. And we have another summon coming up. So Drycha is going to get as close as possible. We're going to pull these Zotes to safety. And we're going to try using these Glade Captains to snipe out Techless. I think that is our next order of business. Our Eternal Guard are also fighting out pretty well. So yeah, we'll just have them try to win out those fights. Drycha is getting real close to these archers now. And finally, we can get a Dryad summon on top of them. To shut them down. Dragon Ogres can now chase off Techless along with our Glade Captains. And now I think we're in a good place again. Techless, though, is running circles around me. But this fight here is very efficient for me. The archers are shut down. Drycha's in the midst of it. And it's just a bunch of spears. Let's see. The rallying archers, too, are getting dealt with. I really just want Techless to die. Let's see, where are my Zotes? They're over here doing okay. And they want to circle around. Deal with the Dragon Princes. These Dragon Princes have really been a thorn in my side for the whole game. And we're really hoping we can take them out. Let's see here. So, Man, these spears are causing a lot of problems too. But our single entities are very strong. Drycha too is a surprisingly good combatant. And as soon as we get a pendulum, I think that will help us out. Those dragon princes are still a pain. They're continuing to run away from us, and our Zotes are on the verge of breaking. Let's see, where are my captains though? Let's see, they're nearby, and we can finally finish off those units of dragon princes. They fire while moving, and they'd be happy to take that fight. Our Zotes, however, do not want to be caught in spears. They'll be backing up so that they can do their cycle charging. And yeah, Glade captains are doing good. Okay, we'll send in the second one to support, finish off those dragon princes, and then it's just techless. He'll get shot up by the Glade captains, and these spear infantry units won't be too much of a problem with our Zotes running around. They have no healing though, which sort of sucks. But they're still at 10 models, so they're still just as effective in combat. And there we go. GG. Oh my gosh, that got a little bit sketchy there, but our ability to just set up a nice full surround really helped. I think our cavalry engagements weren't the best. You can see my cav didn't really pay for itself. And the dragon princes did. But in the end, with the Glade captains, they were just way too much to handle. And then they did pretty well. We overrun the archers, and Drycha, with her pendulums, likely shut down techless for a lot of the game. So GG, guys. Oh my gosh, so there we go. That's the end of the tournament. I do believe we managed to make it out in first place, winning the prize. That's two tournaments back to back over 2 weeks that we've won. So I think we're going to take another break after this. Take it easy for next week, very likely. And yeah, that's it. So yeah, if you guys like this and want to stick around, you know, follow, subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, we have a Discord. You can scroll down. We have a ranked ladder there, a whole bunch of different things. So join the community. There's lots of things to get excited about. And that should be it. So goodbye.